destiny.
That being said, welcome the YouTube audience to NODWIN Valorant Challenger South Asia, driven by Hyundai, and with our styling partner Philips One Blade. We've got the matchup lined up between OG and Reckoning Esports, just to find out, is this revenge story going to be real or not?
We've seen plenty of revenge stories before, but this one takes the cake. This one has all the spice and the sweetness as well. The sweetness comes from OG's ability to play by the book and play in a very disciplined fashion. But the spice, of course, comes through with a little bit of moonwalk and a little bit of sneaky play from this man. He was such a thorn in the side for Astra yesterday. Let's see if we can keep up that spice level today as well.
Dude, that moonwalk was cool, okay? I'm a huge fan of it. Now, it just added +1 in my heart once again. But you got to talk about the OG players too. Look at them. No emotion showed on the face at all. Just go and stand on your positions. Don't even showcase much. Just sincere faces on the board. And I'm pretty sure they're here to game, and even they are going to be quite deadly. And talking about deadly, we even have Deadly 10 on our screens. This man has been stepping up huge for this team.
Yeah, Deadly 10 has been a force to be reckoned with. He started off as a star duelist. He showed us that he can be very comfortable on Killjoy as well. But you know who's the actual star of Reckoning? It's the man who is the flashiest of all. It's none other than Flavin.
Oh yeah, in the game and outside the game too. If you are gonna let Reckoning Esports win, then you guys will understand how well this man is gonna flash through you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, soon enough we are gonna be moving forward to the map veto 2, something that we have been waiting for a long time. These guys have faced once in the past in the group stage, and now it's once again time to face each other in the upper bracket semifinal to find out if the revenge is going to come true for Reckoning Esports or not, and OG will continue their supremacy in the upper semifinals bracket.
Yeah, and the reason this is a revenge matchup is because they tried going up against each other in the group stage as well. Reckoning Esports gave them a damn good run for their money, but OG still came out on top. Of course, the map picks over there were quite different, and I'm assuming some of these maps will change. They both have their comfort picks and bans, but last time they played each other on Ascent, OG won 13-11. Quite a close scoreline. Fracture went into overtime, which Reckoning were able to take for themselves, and Icebox was a complete beatdown with OG beating Reckoning 13-3. I guess that's exactly why we saw the Omen being picked up by Reckoning Esports in Icebox yesterday against their opponents. Previously, Reckoning were the first team to pick up the Harbor Viper composition on Icebox, but after OG trashed them 13-3, that's when they switched up.
OG, they've got something serious cooking up here, man. These pep talks are taking way too long, and I'm a little scared now. I'm a little worried because OG, they are a bloodthirsty team, and considering now Reckoning Esports, they found themselves once again against this team, OG, they must have sort of learned the loopholes around the map of Ascent. Yesterday, we saw Reckoning Esports reveal a lot of their strategies on Ascent, so OG, they're probably going to be ready. I'm just waiting. If Ascent is going to be picked in here, Crips, then things will be a little worried because it has been picked once in the past, and so far in VCSA, comfort picks have been the name of the game. But if we're going to be seeing something out of the box, I am definitely down. Here we go, moving on forward towards the map veto, ladies and gentlemen, where Reckoning Esports will go for the first ban, pretty much as comfortable as possible, going for the Haven ban right off the bat. OG as well, another comfort ban on the map of Lotus. It is also the target ban for Reckoning Esports, and now moving on forward towards the map pick. Ascent instantly picked up by Reckoning Esports. They're quite confident. It's their war zone.
Yeah, no surprises so far. It's great that OG ban loaders all the time because Reckoning played well on it as yesterday as well. But Split, yes, that's kind of new. I don't think we've seen OG play on Split before. I do remember Reckoning playing on Split. They lost against ASTER Army, so maybe this could be a little bit of a targeted pick.
Maybe this can be, yeah, and considering OG know there aren't really a lot of odds available off their splits, so this can also bring in a lot of new ways for them to try and abuse against Reckoning Esports. So let's see how the map of split's going to be played out. It's going to be the second map, but the first map that we're going to be kicking things off, it's going to be on Ascent. As I said yesterday, Reckoning Esports, they have revealed quite a lot of stuff on this map, so OG, they're probably going to be well prepared. Moving it forward and taking a look at the agent select, and we have already got these players hovering up on some agents. It's quite interesting. Harbor Viper on this map?
Nah, it's just that's kind of bamboozle us all the time. I'm assuming that they'll go for the same old agents they went for yesterday. Omen, KO, Sova, Chamber, and Jet. Yeah, so no surprises over there. The biggest difference over here is going to be the Chamber, of course, in place of Killjoy. So that really is the only thing that these teams have separated from each other. Other than that, the agent selection is more or less the same. The main difference between these two teams is going to be that Deadly 10 always takes duels ahead of his team, leading the charge. But on the side of OG, they don't really have their Jet play super aggressively in positions where the teammates can't really cover them.
There we go, moving in forward towards Ascent, where OG will start things off on defense and Reckoning Esports on the offense. Soon enough, the round will be starting up, but Crips, what are your realistic expectations on this map?
I don't know, man. Ascent has always been one of those maps where I refrain from giving my prediction, but if I have to pick a winner, I think I'm gonna go with OG this time. They've defeated Reckoning on this map before. It was a close game, but I think OG have figured out what Reckoning's some of the main strategies are, and based on those common ones, they can always drop counters.
Okay, OG. Interesting stuff. They sent in a 0 point towards main, but every single player from Reckoning Esports is towards the trees area. AZ's instantly pushing up on the site. This time the resistance is going to be the name of the game. Deadly 10 out-aims the first man in front. That's going to be in the name of Antidote. But the rest two players are in position quite deep ways. The one man is all the way under heaven. Aziz is just waiting for someone to peek out to him, and Aziz lines up both of them. Rofulin Winery, he will be shut down in Reckoning Esports. Now things are starting to get a little bit more complicated. But as soon as I say that, Woya steps up huge and gets two. And now it's all down to RVK. The last man alive, last man on the mission.
It should be easy for him to kill Voya. One bullet and the job should be done. RVK also has the turret, but he's mainly waiting for spike blunts. Oh, and that was a trap. The moment he dropped down, his death warrant was signed. Reckoning Esports, quite fun way to take a heaven. They go in from tree, they fight Antidote, slay him instantly. Antidote stood no chance because there's just way too many people on him. Break the window, smoke towards the defender spawn entrance, and then straight up rush in from there. Yes, Aziz went in for a double kill, which wasn't something that Reckoning expected, but I like the way how the remaining members of Reckoning Esports waited towards tree, and they were just waiting for the members of Heaven to drop down into the site. That's when they would go in for the crunch. Poor Rocky, he was very isolated over there.
Yeah, can't do much, unfortunately. Once again, aggression amped up. Another fiery round starting up for them. Tesseract. He's spotted all the way in the back, and RVK is going to get crunched once again. Too many players in the front. Nothing much can be done. And Deadly 10 and his team has now got the side control secured. 4 players alive in the enemy team. Unfortunately for them, they haven't really got the superior weaponry to shut down the opponents, but still they can try and go for some dent.
Yeah, just a bunch of shadows available, but Flabin wins out the duel. And he's ready for more. Spots out Tesseract, white swing. Nah, he's not gonna go ahead and continue challenging this any further. The smoke kinda makes it even more difficult for OG to push in via stairs. But hold on, it's not OG who's pushing in, it's Reckoning who's pushing out.
Reckoning Esports, this is what we call fire to fire. I mean, first 2 rounds, they are secured in quite high-octane ways. Let's see, now this is where the true test begins. Guns on the board for both the sides. It's a bonus round for the side of Reckoning Esports, so they're not going to have the stronger weaponry, which means OG should have an upper hand, right?
On paper, yeah. But in practice, Reckoning Esports plays in such a volatile fashion, you can't really convert anything for sure. Or you just have to play their best disciplined Valorant and make sure that any randomness that Reckoning brings to the table is dealt with.
Defeated. Really good flash to start things off. Phantom gets spotted in the corner, and Voy is able to shut him down. But RVK with a 3K. He shuts down the entire presence towards main, and now Deadly 10 is the only man in the back lines on the site. He's got a sheriff in the hand. He knows securing this round is next to impossible, so he will just try to deal some damage, but there's way too many players peeking out at the same time.
Sheesh, a fast execute from Reckoning shut down in its tracks. RVK steps up huge. It was a bold play for him to re-peek the angle after he got the first kill, but man, oh man, he's just so sharp.
Solid stuff.
But then, Reckoning were expected to lose this round, considering OG had superior weaponry. This is the round where OG will be really challenged. Okay, that's quite interesting. Tesseract playing from the same position as last round. This position is a little bit of a one and done, so OG are not changing up their B approach. They believe that if it ain't broke, why fix it? But there is one problem. There's no util on mid, no Killjoy alarm bot, nothing of that sort, and Reckoning Esports are moving in. And as a counter to make sure they don't get crunched, OG have at least pushed out B main and gotten the first pick. So even if this B crunch comes through, it won't be as deadly.
Speak of that, and Deadly 10 was already subtracted out. Good shots from Master, capitalizing onto Tesseract. Tesseract being shut down. RVK all by himself in the back lines with only 55 HP to support him, to back him up, and now he's getting chipped up even more. It's a 3-on-3 scenario. Reckoning Esports, they have established the site control and the dominance so far on this map, and Flabin gets away with a kill.
That was a risky place to place his rendezvous. But he does it regardless. He knew that Antidote's going to be swinging him alone. And now, Reckoning are aware that OG is coming in from the back lines. Reckoning don't care. They can continue holding the back of sight. Rockfield dashes in, hoping that he can clear up some room for Aziz to follow up, and he does, but there's just way too much heat.
Reckoning Esports, they're keeping it tight, man. As soon as they got this better weaponry on the board, or pretty much the equal weaponry, once again, heat being amped up. They're just not letting the players of OG try and realize what exactly is hitting them, in what fashion. And OG, they're not really able to wrap their heads around because not a lot of time's given away. Reckoning Esports, they're just having the pedal to the metal. They're straight up pushing up to the site. But I'm pretty sure the pace will be changed soon enough as soon as slowly and steadily OG start to realize what sort of a game plan Reckoning Esports are bringing up on the table. Good paranoia to start things off. First man gets paranoid, pushed back as well. They know it's an eco round for the opponents. Flabin's going to kick things off on a great note. Hunter's Fury utilized as well. Woya finds the value. A side completely vacant.
It's quite surprising that they use 2 ultimates on a round where OG don't have much weaponry. But then again, they can't be too careful, and that's exactly why. You never know when RVK is going to start popping off. And he is creating so much trouble for Reckoning. The shots are insane, and with that, he's even farmed up the lockdown. Harsh doesn't know. He's in for a nasty surprise. RVK missed the opportunity, and Harsh is so adamant. Ooh, that was too close.
I mean, Reckoning Esports' coach knows it was way too close for comfort. Even he had his hands on the forehead. That round shouldn't be that close, but still somehow OG, they made it look quite nice. These shots were incredible, RVK. This man just went huge.
There's a reason you call him the Shadow Master.
Yeah, I mean, but he whiffed the shots that he shouldn't have whiffed. That's the problem.
Shutting them down.
Sometimes it's just that human nature, you know. You hit some insane shots and then you miss out some of the easiest shots.
The duality of man.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this time though. A creepy A main approach.
Yeah.
They should have figured that Harsh is standing up in the smoke. And even if they didn't, the drone is now going to push them back. But OG, they do play aggressively towards A main, not towards B main. They kind of want to welcome Reckoning over here. Tesseract though, the lack of a smoke allows him to get that kill on Flabin.
At least able to sneak away with a kill. Rawfood's got the operator in the hand. No one's going to peek out probably. Discipline has to be the name of the game here. Reckoning Esports, they've lost out on the man advantage. Now they're a man down. Not a good news. Deadly 10, as always, will try to force through mid. He was being spotted. And Tesseract instantly looking to capitalize on that factor. He will peek out. Another kill being rewarded. This man is not missing out on those taps at all.
Absolutely not. OG take every chance they get.
30 seconds left.
And it's every chance that Reckoning are offering to them. By peeking out dry, by not using util to clear out the angles. Woya is going for a fake towards the A shot side. We've seen him do this before, but he's about to walk into the crosshair of Rockfield, and Rockfield doesn't miss these. Very little time left, and now Reckoning has to face not only Rawfield's off, but also the nano swamps. This round seems done and dusted already.
Yeah, they just got picked apart one after the other. This is what I call getting read like a book, and a flawless round from OG. What a way to pick off your opponents. Giving them no chance to even realize what's going on in front of them. One after one after one. Bodies just kept on dropping down.
The one after one is the more important point over here. I mean, OG are not going to have a hard time reading their opponent if they don't try to write anything. If they don't try to sell misinformation. So yeah, this round, OG was destined to win this. Reckoning didn't really try all that much, and now
You want to play? Let's
the
play.
brunt of the eco once again. At least the tour de force might just make things slightly easier, you know?
He gets spotted. Forced back on the site, so at least they know RVK is the man who's anchoring down over and over again. But unfortunately for Reckoning Esports, the operator hasn't been spotted yet, and that's where they get the advantage. Rawfield was able to get away with a kill. This man is always there on the spots where he needs to be for his team. Tesseract was able to get another one. Slips past underneath the sleeve, and Antidote as well is able to pass by one. Reckoning Esports, they're getting countered hard. Not a good news for them. And now it's all down to the last man alive, Woya. I mean, he is the clutch meister, but this time the dream's a little too big.
Yeah. And the dreams turn into nightmares within the blink of an eye if OG keep playing like this. Reckoning didn't really offer them all that much to challenge. Once again, Reckoning were kind of all over the place over here. They tried making contact towards B, where Rafuel's op was very, very sharp. No difficulty for him hitting those shots whatsoever. Reckoning even tried to place one dark cover smoke towards the mouth of tree, but then they didn't go a shot. Instead, they had Deadly 10 dash in from A main towards the side using his cloud burst, but Angelo sniffed him out very easily.
The problem with Reckoning Esports is that they just keep the pedal to the metal right off the bat. They use as much as gas as they can in the gas tank to gain that lead initially, and then later on, there's none left. The same thing happened on the map of Lotus as well, where they started getting countered hard. They need to have some type of another strategy cooked up, even if their first initial strategy they're using and later on it doesn't start working out. Now they need to start bringing something new to the table. We talked about this. OG, they probably have watched yesterday's matchup and they have came in prepared. So Reckoning Esports should have expected themselves to get countered this hard.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The last 2 rounds which OG were able to win, it didn't even seem like they were actively countering Reckoning. It was more like Reckoning just not showing up. And when they do show up, it's 1 by 1 without utility. So OG didn't have to make active efforts to counter them in this particular round. Reckoning just gave up the recipe all by themselves. Now that this timeout has given them some time to think, maybe Reckoning can start cooking. You can already see them stacked up towards the B side instead of spreading out like they normally do. The early recon from Tesseract is going to reveal nobody towards A main. And this is important because there's 4 defenders stacked towards the A site. Meanwhile, RBK is alone on B. He requires help now. He's able to get 1 kill onto Master because there was no smoke placed, and that lets him get 1. The Hunter's Fury on Tesseract doesn't really tag all that many people, but this lockdown is going to force Reckoning to make some moves. Wow. Flabin tried to make some fancy moves, shut down by Tesseract.
Yeah. This time the man comes out on top and Deadly 10. Now this man has got his hands on the operator. Lockdown expires. No one found. That's sort of good news. Tesseract position compromised. Gets on top of the box and still is somehow able to stay alive. But Woya, he's able to find a fantastic shot under Rafuel. Man being shut down. Deadly 10's operator is now going to start to chime in as well. The recon darts are making work from both the sides, but the last 2 players are alive from Reckoning Esports, and Tesseract is the only man left alive. The man with a burning torch will be extinguished soon enough, and Tesseract falls to the grave.
Great round by Reckoning. Could have been cleaner, but I love the way how they adjusted to the OG ultimates. The first frag RBK was able to get was partially because the smoke towards defender spawn did not land on time, so RBK had clear line of sight, and he doesn't miss those. But then, when OG placed that lockdown, Reckoning just fell towards the back of sight. They were patient, they were in no hurry to plant the spike, they even dodged the Hunter's Fury, and they just kind of waited for OG to flood into the site. Reckoning put absolutely no pressure on OG in terms of timing, right? It's not like the spike was planted, so OG were in no hurry to move in, but somehow when they finally did, Reckoning were prepared for this. Like I keep saying, in the previous few rounds, it seemed like Reckoning were the ones who were giving away frags for free. Now it seemed like OG's turn, it was OG's turn to do the same.
It's just that both these teams are reading each other well, to be honest. That's just it. Literally, that's it. It's not even that these guys are giving out frags. They're just able to recognize the pattern, how they're punishing Reckoning Esports, and then Reckoning Esports pretty much try to work on that. Because if you realize, in the past 2 rounds, Reckoning Esports, they were showing the B main presence, but they weren't pushing right pedal to the metal. They were just showing that presence. And while they were doing that, they were getting punished all the time. So this time, all they did was just push up with the pedal to the metal. They were like, all right, flip it. We don't care anymore. We're just going to straight up push in the site. And it worked out.
Exactly. Reckoning Esports are so good at varying the pace like this. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's fast, and you can never really predict. Challenger in his face. Deadly 10 deals with the operator, and now he's going to rejoin his team towards the bottom of mid. But the spike is still outside B. Tesseract tries to re-clear this area. He's going to figure out that Deadly 10 fell back, but he might just be able to get a kill. And now B is vacant.
Oh my god. They changed the strategy. The entire OG team thought that this is going to be the same strategy where Deadly 10 pushes up market, but they variated this time. They changed it up. And OG, they got sort of caught off guard because we saw a complete rotation going to the A site, and the B site was completely empty. Reckoning Esports, they got these hands on the site, but so far, let's see how the post plans are going to be played. Deadly 10's quite low. The rest of the players are softened up as well. On the other hand, OG, they're quite healthy. Every single player is definitely looking quite healthy, and now they're going to start to rack up on the site. OG, they make it quite clean.
This is the kind of round which requires a little bit of historical context to understand. You see this play that Deadly 10 is making towards the market region every time. He's done that several times in the past, but OG got bamboozled. At least with Tesseract re-clearing mid-market, it kind of tells OG that, hey, this is not going to be a B crunch yet. And then they stack A. But by the time they realize that, hold on, this isn't going towards A at all, Reckoning had already planted the spike. So Reckoning, in terms of brain games, they did win. Unfortunately, OG are just a bit too good on their retake.
Yep, OG just won their duels on retake, straight up. They were able to just come out on top in the duels. But to be honest, with the way they got the side control, it was really impressive. They changed up some stuff and it sort of worked out in their favor. And now look at Deadly 10. He was at least able to get one. Good for one, but he gets traded out instantly. Rafuel was able to find one through the smoke as well. But OG now, they still have the side control maintained in their hands. Tesseract shuts down the man who was working quite close. In the back lines is going to be Flab, and he misses both of those shots. Hunter's Headhunter not really working out that well for Flabin so far. He's got 4 bullets stacked up in that gun, and he finds one.
Okay. OG survived the onslaught. This time Deadly 10 changed up the approach. Instead of dashing towards market, dashes straight back towards B. And that paranoia from Harsh, really impressive. It blinded up RBK, allowing him to get a kill, but unfortunately there's just way too many people on the B site. Tesseract trades it in. There's even resistance from Rafuel towards the defender spawn entrance. So Reckoning Esports aren't able to get as much value out of this eco round as they would hope to.
So phenomenal, man. Talk about the brain games and OG, they have really came prepared. They're not leaving any sort of sight lines away where Reckoning Esports will have a chance to get the lead. Always able to capitalize on their opponents, always looking for the little picks on the map. Rafuel, that updraft and the kill through all the way defender spawn. Comes out successfully on the top, but then later on, Flabin will clip his wings. And he falls down in his graves. It's a 4-on-4 scenario. Master was the one who was lost out. It's just completely fine for them as long as they've got the controller up. Hirsch should be able to utilize his smokes and let his team get an advantage on the A site. Slowly and steadily, Reckoning Esports starting to back up towards A main. And there's going to be an execute soon enough. There's 3 players towards A. So I am definitely worried for Reckoning Esports. Let's see how they're going to be clearing these angles out.
All of OG just focusing towards the A site.
Nowhere to run!
There you go. The Hunter's Fury gets activated, clearing out Generator. Aziz stands no chance. Deadly 10 takes a little bit of team damage, but that's completely fine as long as they get the site and the plant. It should be all fine. They're not going for the plant yet. Are they waiting for more OG aggression? And now that they haven't seen anything, they stick it into the ground and Reckoning have a vice grip on the site. There's not much that OG can do to retake this. They don't even have the numbers, they don't have util. Tesseract has the Hunter's Fury, but it's still going to be very difficult to deal with.
I mean, just the last man indeed is going to be quite tough to pull anything off at this point in time. He's got the Hunter's Fury up, but he's probably not going to use it. He's here to try and put a little bit of dent on the opponent's economy, I guess.
Oh my god.
But Voya will catch him slipping by. And Tesseract wasn't able to find anyone with that exit. But still, Reckoning Esports a solid round. Definitely a round they needed. Now they also have a little lead in the scoreboard. Maybe that might just give them the mental edge that they really need.
This Hunter's Fury just makes it so easy for Reckoning Esports to barrage inside. There's just one player, Aziz, to his Generator. It feels like the Hunter's Fury is a personal attack on him. And when they realize that Aziz is alone and he requires help, Antidote tried to swing out of the doorway. walked straight into the Hunter's Fury. He did do some damage, but then again, he stood no chance against that massive laser beam.
Reckoning Esports. I mean, it is a timeout from OG. They probably want to make it a 6-6 half, and things on a great note, and then maybe hope for a new beginning on the second half. That was a good tap on the mosquito, right? It's just one tap and a dirt nap.
On the mosquito?
Yeah, you didn't see that? He just killed a mosquito.
He's
perfect.
too fast. He's too fast.
Too fast, man. The reflex game is too good on OG.
There's one thing though. This is a round where Reckoning tried to go A after such a long time. I feel like they haven't gone A this fast so far. Maybe they would have done it in the first 2 rounds, but after that, Reckoning have been just so adamant on playing mid and B again and again. When they go A finally, it is devastating.
Let's play.
And even though OG were prepared for the A hit to some extent, they were expecting Reckoning to come in from A shot instead of A main.
I can't use that.
Oh, this mid aggression this time. There's way too much resistance and you better step away. They got tagged. And is there going to be a body bag? Yes, there is. Masters in the dirt. Aziz kills deadly as well. OG off to a flying start.
Perfectly done. Hunter's Fury used in the perfect time. Even the tags were there. And OG has got an early upper hand inside this round. It is the last round in the first half. And they do want to end things on a great note. And then probably hope for a new beginning in the second half. They got another man down. Reckoning Esports, they're getting picked apart like pieces once again. One after the other, things start crumbling down. And now Woya left all by himself with a magic gun in the hand to try and pull something off. But even that magic gun will be disabled this time.
Well, at least it's an evenly contested half. This is so devastating, the early Hunter's Fury from Tesseract. I mean, we knew that this was going to be a difficult mid-take for Reckoning because not only was there the alarm bot present, but the drone as well as the recon dot was perfect. Plus, when you got Rafuel just jumping up, drafting from that fountain area, it is just a little too much to deal with. Add to the fact that Aziz is present over there. Incredible. The mid defense is stellar from OG.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Can't feel my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Can't feel my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second half of Valorant Challenger South Asia. The first map of Haven. It is a 6-6 half, quite an equal scoreline. And now we're going to deep dive in the second half. For Reckoning Esports will be pushed back to the defending side and OG on the attack. Let's see what sort of a book they've got up now, because Reckoning Esports on their attack, they pretty much used whatever they can. They got picked apart like pieces in some of those rounds, and some of the times when they were just having pedal to the metal, it sort of worked out. But Reckoning Esports now, they will either try and get the grip on the opponent's playstyle or to exactly find out what's cooking up in their minds. They've already got the B-side control, quite a peaceful one. No one to fight out so far. And they've already got the grasp on it. Let's see how things are going to be looking like for Reckoning Esports. This retake definitely sounds quite tough. There is a paranoia available. Decent amount of utilities on both the sides. And OG, the post plants are set up. Slowly and steadily, Flabbin as well. He's going to start to creep and crawl his way in. Smoke's being used from both the sides. Flabbin's position compromised. Paranoia sort of suppresses him for a while. And OG, this is going to be a clean swap. Oh, clean first round in the second half. And OG, they shut down the opponents like it was nothing, like it meant nothing. Great way to start things off, great way to kick things off in the pistol round. The upcoming anti-eco as well should be in their hand without any doubts. And now this is definitely a point of concern for Reckoning Esports. They lost out on the pistol round, and opponent now should have a decent enough chance to build up their economy. Reckoning Esports, they got played like a fiddle. Again, a slow start. OG really just able to play with the enemy's heads. Tesseract up close. OG really respecting their opponents. They know you do not really want to underestimate them. Harsh in the close quarters with the shorty, just waiting for someone to push up. He does manage to tag one, but that's all he's going to get. Good flashes to back him up as well. OG, once again, they have a clear stroll on the site. Deadly 10 will be falling back. It's a 3-on-5 scenario. And Reckoning Esports, 3-player, once again left out to retake this entire stuff. Nothing much can be found. They just have a little bit too much on their shoulders. And it should be once again a clean cleanup for OG. Oh, those were 2 crisp taps from Tesseract. 8-6 is the scoreline. And this is where now things are going to start to be even more real. Guns on the hand off Reckoning Esports. On the other hand, they've got Spectres and the Phantoms. Only one man has went for that upgrade. Rawfield still sticking with that Bulldog. And RVK with that Sheriff. This man just has so much confidence in this Sheriff. It's incredible. And he has been proven out over and over for his team. So it's understandable that he's still playing with that Sheriff. All the 5 players stacked outside B. OG, they haven't really revealed any sort of presence just yet. The 0 point being nullified, and Tesseract finds the good opening. That was a good pop and swing to shut down the first man, but now Voya from the back line's trying to pull something incredible off. Smoke's being deployed on the side of Voya. Voya's got no sight lines left anymore. Deadly 10 gets tacked up by the drone as well, and he's still just staying on the alleyway. He's not going to let anyone pass through, but as soon as I say that, OG, they just cut off his head. They crack it open. And once again, a clean take on the B side. Reckoning Esports not able to wrap their heads around, not able to wrap what exactly OG are trying to pull here. Just the last 2 players left, man. Not a good news for Reckoning Esports. B side's been taken away like a piece of cake. And OG, they've got Rawfield on the hunt, while the rest 2 are just towards the A site. It should be an easy save up, considering OG, they don't really have a lot of men on that hunt just yet. But now every single player will start to fall down. Even Aziz is quite in the close quarters. Rawfield's moving up quite close as well. But yeah, now the B side is really starting to be a huge point of concern. Reckoning Esports need to realize what exactly is going wrong, how the B side has been taken away from them, and they need to find a way to patch the holes up.
Oh, they don't even get to save the weapons, dude. That's so unfortunate. Not only do they get the economic penalty for saving, they don't even get to carry the weapon forward. So that's even worse. OG get to have their cake and eat it too. Not only do they punish Reckoning economically, but they also kill the weapon wielders. And I don't know, man. I think Reckoning's gonna take quite a lot of time to recover from this one. Harsh has a Bucky. Alright then. This should be interesting.
They haven't really got the good weapons, so yeah, just Bucky and Sheriff's on the board. Orangutan. They're now going to start to make their way in aggressive ways to start things off, and the Bucky's now going to start to click. Of course, causing a lot of issues, but OG, they still managed to stroll on the side quickly enough. Flabin and Deadly 10, the last 2 players left alive. Flabin's got the Headhunters in the hand. On the other hand, Deadly 10 invested into the Sheriff. The man dashes away in the front, and Flabin's giving out quite a lot of calls. Deadly 10.
Player standing.
He's not going to be able to find anyone. Yeah, Reckoning Esports. It should be next to impossible to pull anything off, but Flabin, okay.
Again, they're just waiting for the turret contact. Only when the turret starts to pew-pew at them, that's when somebody will peek out. They did the same to Deadly. The same happens with the Chamber as well. And it's just so convenient for OG to keep hiding and just play on the turret. But with the pistols that Reckoning have, they can't even break the turret and make life easier for themselves. Sure, the Bucky was a nice salty way to deal a little bit of damage, but you can't do too much. Especially when Harsh is playing in that one and done angle of sorts.
Interesting. This tactical timeout, both the coaches are definitely having some heavy talking being done from their sides. And OG, considering they are able to win these rounds consistently now, back-to-back, they've won 4 rounds. This is now starting to be a huge point of concern for Reckoning Esports. And they're probably here to try and find a cure. So far, the B side has been quite vulnerable. As soon as the players were being forced on in eco, they pushed up towards the A side just to vary a little bit. But OG, their main game, where things are looking really strong on the buy rounds, are the B side. So things need to be solid. The defense need to be solidified even more on B.
I mean, given the way that OG took A side this time, it just seems like everything on defense needs a little bit of rework, not just the B side. But this is quite a risky approach from Reckoning. They don't have any utility on mid. Master's gonna be marking mid all by himself with his body. And when he goes ahead and joins his teammates on B, it's left completely open. Luckily for Reckoning Esports, OG aren't headed that way. They're just trying to slowly creep up towards A main. And this is gonna be a fast hit. Flavin has dodged all the flashes, doesn't have time to break the recon dot, falls back to his health. Harsh can't help him anymore, but Flavin's trapped over here. That's what you would think. He's not trapped in here with them, they're trapped in here with him. And the trades at least go through. Harsh manages to get one. And in a 3v3 situation of sorts, that's the best thing that Reckoning could have hoped for.
Yeah, at least the trades are equalized and the man numbers now equalized as well. RVK's sight line's completely cut off. There's a smoke right on top of him towards main. So he's not going to have a chance to even take a part inside the fight unless he decides to push his boundaries and push through the smoke. Steadily 10 is not going to peek out, and that's a good trade from the side of Reckoning Esports. They start to make sure that the opponents are now going to fall down one after the other. Another smoke goes through, and RVK will need to push up through the smoke. He's getting spammed quite low. One more spam should seal the deal onto RVK. Is only down to 27 HP to pull off anything. It sounds quite next to impossible. Goes for the spam once again. Doesn't find the sweet spot. Peeks out.
Sweet stuff. When the trades get going, they really pick up. And in those chaotic moments, it just comes down to the basics. How you like to play along with each other. Who peeks when. That was quite a bold teleport from Antidote. Flavin got that kill, but you also have to give credit where it's due. The fighting from Reckoning towards the top of heaven, it was really impressive at first. It got them the man advantage. It wasn't exactly a man advantage, but it neutralized the players. And in that 3v3, when Reckoning finally start to crunch, OG are gonna have to mark one angle each. One will mark heaven, one will mark door, and one A main. Then it will be oh, deadly. Popped off by Antidote, who now decides to take the AWP for himself. It's no longer Rawfuel who's wielding it. But Rawfuel's already snuck up mid. Are Reckoning aware of this? Master's marking the angle, but he's gonna lose the duel.
We're aware of it, but as you said, he just lost the duel. Unfortunate stuff. The paranoia is at least going to suppress him for a while, and Woya gets away with a kill successfully. Rawfuel's still able to make his way on the site. They realize marquee control's given away. Flavin still just lurking around in mid. And OG, they're able to find these good openings all the time where Reckoning Esports are just not able to capitalize on those. Recon darts available will be used. Scans no one. So that's unfortunate stuff for Reckoning Esports. And they also do have the man advantage available as the operator strikes. This should force the players of OG to go on an eco. Or to go on a save.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, they don't even get to fall back. I'm pretty sure they're gonna hunt down Flavin as well. A double peek dealt with. Nice spray down, but unfortunately it doesn't get him the round. OG are getting closer and closer to the win. And if he dies after the timer runs out, it's gonna be even worse. At least the spike didn't go off before he died, so he won't get fully punished with the economy.
The run and gun. Even RVK was laughing.
Run and gun through the wall. Yeah, that's just the most unlucky frag.
But this one, that lineup, perfectly dealt with him. Look at this.
Oh, poor Reckoning.
Four ultimates available though on either side.
Yeah.
So that's a really good news. No command available from the Shadows, from Reckoning Esports, and even a Tour de Force. So that's the cherry on top of the cake. On the other hand, the opponents have got a lockdown and the null command available, which should help them get a side control.
Yeah, the Blade Summon Tour de Force already popped, but Oya, with just the Sheriff and really big dreams, was hoping to deal a lot of damage. He spots out so many players on OG over there. He's gonna give the call to his teammates to start rotating in already. But OG are keeping this clean. Oh, look at Rockfield though. He wants to get dirty. He wants to get down in the blood of his enemies, and he's not satisfied yet. Pushing further and further in, beating Reckoning down to a pulp.
Reckoning, they're just getting played. They're being proven unparalleled in the attacking side of OG. Look at this. This is just insane. Raw Fuel, he's not even scared of the opponents at all. He's just straight up peeking out.
Yeah. Especially
like
when
he's so confident in winning those duels.
Yeah, I mean, he knows that there's not going to be many guns available on Reckoning, and now that Aziz has the null command activated, poor Deadly can't use his Blade Storm, Flavin can't use his Tour de Force. So he's just up against a bunch of classics, and he knows it. No fear at that point. Wait, Antidote is actually trying to peek through that one-way smoke. That's very brave of him. But you look at these hits that OG are coming up with, and they're quite simple. It's not like they're splitting up to take A or B. They just take A main, B main, A main, B main. This time it's A again, and you've got poor Harsh trapped inside over there. Oh, now he can't even teleport back to safety. The best that he can do is use that smoke as a little bit of cover, hoping that it will get him a kill or two. But this lockdown, it's going to keep the rest of his teammates away. He survives this for now. Can't just be reacting.
For now.
Oh, timing!
From the back! And this is where now the kills are going to start to drop on the board once again. Reckoning Esports, they get the grip back inside this round. They are able to keep themselves alive. And still, the heart keeps on beating. Reckoning Esports, they're able to continue this journey on the first map. Just clutching things out on the 12th round. Woya just pulled out Odin.
Yeah, it's not just the Odin that made a difference. Woya used his Hunter's Fury quite late. Not necessarily to break the lockdown, but mostly to just kill. And that was partially because Harsh gave the call out. He still had some wiggle room in hell over there. He wasn't completely surrounded with the lockdown. So he just gave the call. You don't need to break it. You can just go for the kills. As soon as the spike was tapped, Woya let it loose. And that's kind of what gave Reckoning the momentum to get back into this site. They started hitting them before OG even took their post-plant positions.
Okay. This tactical timeout from OG, just to top it off. I mean, they're already on the map point. All they need is one more round to go. But there's a high chance Reckoning Esports can pull off a comeback. We have seen these type of comebacks in the past, where we've literally saw the matchup taken all the way to OT. And keep this thing in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is the map pick of Reckoning Esports. And if they do lose out on their own map pick, definitely not going to be a good news for them. Because the upcoming map, they have got no clue how the opponents are going to be playing on split. So it's just going to add on a little bit of more mysterious aura. OG, they've got the Hunter's Fury up and even a From the Shadows. Let's see how they're going to be utilizing these ultimates. Antidote on the operator, the classic man with the classic gun.
Let's see if we can pull off some classic shots. He'll have to go up against Deadly 10. What the chomp peek! Deadly, a rare miss from him. But when you've got him peeking like that, how can you miss? At least Hutch is able to get the better of Raw Fuel. Nice spam through the smoke, allows him a freebie. This kind of makes things easier for Reckoning. The dig! It was incredible! Deadly thought he could go for the player who was tagged up by the Sova util, but he got shut down.
Spike planted.
Definitely not a good news, man. Reckoning Esports, they lost out those duels, one after the other, and Deadly 10 and Boya just fell down. The operator's still up for grabs up heaven. Antidote, on the other hand, is only taken down to 19 HP. Definitely not an angle you want to play when you're that low. And Reckoning Esports, they now start to stroll on the side through Haven. The flashes are just exactly so perfect on the point. And KO is making things even more difficult for them to on this retake. But Reckoning Esports, slowly and steadily, they start to get the grip back on the site. And Flabin goes huge.
Sheesh. Took a heroic effort from Flabin to dig this round down from the sewers. I thought it was gone. When Deadly 10 missed his initial shots with the op, I thought that was it. He tried to go in for the re-peek as well, especially because there were players stacked up by the Sova Util. Even that opportunity slipped out of his hands. And with Harsh getting a freebie through the smoke, I thought that was it.
Last player.
But Reckoning Esports managed to make this one work. This duo of Master and Flabin dropped down from heaven, cleared out the Hell region, turned their attention back to its disease, and make it look clean. There's still a long way to go.
Round. Yeah. And as this tournament's passing by, it's just making me even more concerned for both the teams. Definitely something you need to be worried about. Shot missed. Rawfield once again a clean stroll on the site. OG, they're just so stubborn. They just want to keep on hitting the A site over and over again until the post plants are played to perfection. Rawfield this time pushes up a little bit too much towards Haven. But luckily for OG, the opponents are being forced back. Even the null command's going to be popped, and now this is just going to add the cherry, the icing on top of the cake for them. What shot from Rawfield? What a shot! Just put Deadly 10 to sleep, and now it's a 3-on-5 scenario. Reckoning Esports, they've got no other chance than to pull it off. And OG, they slowly and steadily start to close their fists as Reckoning Esports, they get dealt with. Rawfield.
What a sharp double kill to end the game. Rawfield looks so strong today. Especially that nice little hovering shot as he got the first frag. That was juicy. It's not like Reckoning had much utility to retake with, but the null command on top of it makes it even harder. And Reckoning looks shook. The ghosts of the past now start to haunt them.
They look heartbroken, and I'm not a huge fan of that, especially when you know the upcoming map is going to be the opponent's pick, where they should have a known advantage over you. And they're indeed so heartbroken. Shook, the right word as well. But on Split, I can already imagine what's going to happen. OG, they're always just so good on all the factors, on all the aspects of the game.
Well, regardless of what the outcome is, I was still quite impressed with this game. But it was quite surprising to see OG go for the plain brute force hits so many times in a row.
Exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, the first map is done, so now it's our time to push the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Making dreams come true and memories happier.
I know my destiny. I know my destiny. I know my destiny.
a massive problem. You can't afford to have that.
Exactly. Well, you know what, Chris? It's time for us to welcome the YouTube audience once again back to the stream. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Valorant Challenger South Asia, driven by Hyundai with our styling partner Philips One Blade. As we move on forward to the second map of the series, where we're going to be moving on forward in the map of Split, taking a look at the Agent Select, and yes, there is definitely a change. Last time we saw Reckoning Esports on the map of Split, Deadly 10 was playing that Raze. He was on the duelist role, and now the duelist role has been taken away from Deadly 10 and he's been put on Cypher. So it's quite an interesting change here.
Yeah, but is that going to be enough? The fact that there's a double sentinel now, it definitely helps Reckoning's cause on the defensive side, and since they are starting out on defense, it should help them muster an early lead. But is that going to be enough to carry them through in the second half?
Why not? Let's hope for the best, yeah, and let the best team win. That's all we can say. And we move on forward on the map of Ascent. As you said, they are going to be starting on the defensive side, on the attack.
Yeah, this is going to be definitely a very different game from Reckoning. The only similarity that they have in the previous game is that there's a jet, that's all. The other agents are all changed. Reckoning had a Viper-Astra combination last time on Split. Raze along with it as well. So they are probably going to be playing this in a much more slower fashion. The double duelist lets them pick up the pace very well, but now that they have two sentinels, it's going to be down to a slow crawl. Let's just hope that OG aren't able to use this lack of pace for themselves.
And they've got no info gathering agent, so
yeah.
I mean, on the map of Split, it's not really going to make a lot of difference, to be honest. Considering even the opponents just have a Sky to, it will tell you the presence, but it's not going to pinpoint. So again, it's not really going to make a lot of difference, but still something to be noted. And OG, they've already gotten an aggressive mid control, so that's a good thing for them, I guess. There are tripwires available in the vents. As soon as the tripwire is broken, the position should be compromised as well. Unfortunately for both the teams, they haven't really got KO on the board too, which is quite powerful on this map.
Yeah, it is quite powerful. Like, imagine suppressing the Cypher and then oh, Flavin. Very good defense for now, but now the A-Heaven is starting to get crunched. There's people coming in from ramps as well as vents. That leaves poor Flavin in the corner of the site. Now, there is Master to help him out, but Master doesn't have much util left. Just one flash available. But they don't even want to go towards A. They can probably cut off this site and start heading towards spawn where Voya's waiting. Nice dink, but it doesn't really help us cause. Off angle held by Harsh. He's probably going to get a nice dink onto both of them. Maybe even get all the kills. And as long as they keep themselves stationed over here, Reckoning can get crunched.
Ooh, Antidote's way too softened
10
up.
seconds left.
They made it seem like they walled up
Spike
on the defender
planted.
spawn, so pretty much making it look like that Antidote's not going to be here in the back lines, and he might just be able to catch someone with a surprise. There is a man in the back, and Master's going to spot him. That's a good shot to clean things up. Tesseract still just hiding near the box, waiting for someone to sleep on his crosshairs, and he will definitely find one kill. Able to tap away onto Master, and now one more to go. He's got 69 HP available, and he will get the second man down too. OG somehow able to come out on top in that post-play scenario, where it was a 1-on-2, and Reckoning Esports, they managed to not close the deal.
Yeah, OG, really good adjustments. Their plan to crunch the A site was actually quite solid, but as soon as they realized that Master's rotation has already come through, they made a risky call. A bold one as well, because both Boya and Harsh were holding off angles. They got a dink each. Now, because all this damage was done, Antidote was already low, so he was like, yeah, I'm just gonna play my own life, hope to surprise them. That left the last player in a very awkward clutch situation, but he was so calm and collected. This time OG once again heading for an A hit. But at the cost of doing so, they've given away so much mid control. As soon as Antidote comes up over here, he's probably not going to expect everyone of Reckoning to be right there. But Flavin's about to get shot in the back. The timing is just so bad.
Oh, Flavin, just a complete armed force in the back. Doesn't expect anyone to be there. Innocent man gets caught off guard. And now Rafiel, this man is just bloodthirsty. What are you going to expect other than absolute destruction and chaos? And OG, once again, they get a clean side in the hand. It is an equal round for the opponent, so you can't really expect a lot from them. Expecting a bit too much can definitely be a little bit more harmful for the opponent. So we're going to let it slide. As expected, it should be a clean stroll for them. And Rawfield has already managed to get a 3K. The best part for OG is that they're starting to get a little closer to some of their ultimates. For example, they only need 3 more orbs for Tesseract to get his ult, and now just make it 2.
Yeah, but this is such a weird round, you know, because if you let this round play out and pause it at the 10-second marker, you will notice that OG have virtually no map control. They are either towards A main or towards sewers, and that is it. Meanwhile, Reckoning Esports, they've pushed down mid, they've pushed out of B main, and on paper, Reckoning have all the information in the world. But then Boya just gets caught with the worst instance of timing. Even the position that Harsh had taken up towards B main, it would have been amazing, but OG check it. So Reckoning, even after having way more map control than OG, lose the round. And you can't blame that on just the lack of weaponry.
Oh, he's getting pushed up by an entire team, but he still manages to get one. Not a lot of bullets left in the chamber, but it's completely fine. You've got a man like Voya backing you up. It's a 3-on-3 scenario. It's a bonus round for Reckoning Esports, so as long as the bodies are hitting the floor, it's still working out in their favor. OG, they get the spike plant down. Now it's all going to come down to this post plant. Rawfield is in quite an unknown spot, but Flabin's still marking it out. There is a little suspicion that Rawfield might just be on top of the rafters. This needs to be checked out. A good flash to try and nullify the man, but there will still be an equal trade. Deadly 10 was able to get away with one of his own, and Antidote pushes up through the smoke.
The smoke kind of works against him. They were just hoping to close the distance, and now they're aware that Aziz could sneak around. Master's marking the angle in the smoke, and Reckoning get this retake. Once again, OG going for the one-dimensional pushes. No crunch in from mid, just all of them pushing out of B main. I mean, it's kind of fine in this round because they knew that there's a weaponry disadvantage, so even if they try to fight on mid, the Vandals with the speeder range will win against their Spectres. Might as well just try to push out of B main and hope that the trades go in your favor, which was fine. The trades did work for them. But Antidote's smoke over there in the end kind of backfired on him.
Here.
I can't even blame him for doing so, because in a 2v2 situation like that, when the odds are against you, you might as well try to make the risky plays. You might as well try to play in the gray area of the smoke. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. No biggie for OG because they kind of expected to lose this round. But this is a problem. Now that Antidote's been picked off, no more smokes available for the team. They'll have to make contact plays.
They will. Look at the gap. Interesting way to collect info. This is really interesting. Just looking for the toes. And I think so he was able to spot one toe just moving on forward towards the vents area. So it is probably marked out, right? Rawfield in quite an interesting spot. He's waiting for anyone to push up aggressively, but that's not going to be the intention at all. Tesseract able to get the resurrection up, as I said. That's a huge advantage on the hands of OG. And now they're back with full force once again. Harsh is being softened up a little bit. It's completely fine. Something he can play off of with. Beeman is probably going to be the take, and Rawfield waited for the wall to drop down, and Rawfield, now he's going to have the timing over 2 of the players of Reckoning Esports. He will also shut down Boya.
Incredible, and if that wasn't enough, Antidote uses his ultimate
30 seconds left.
to get towards the back of sight. A massive crunch on the B side, and Reckoning are left scratching their heads. Flabin loses his head to Rawfield. And regardless of whatever Reckoning have now, the retake is nearly impossible. They might as well go for the save. OG switch up their approach in this round. Up until now, they've been just doing vanilla A and B hits. But this is the first time when Rawfield went in for a mid-crunch. And he waited for the timing. The wall dropped, and then he found it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it should have been expected, man.
One enemy remaining.
The only other time that OG went in for a mid-aggression was in the pistol round.
For you.
After that, the next 2 rounds were just vanilla A and B hits. Something that we saw in Ascent as well. So that's probably why Reckoning found this false sense of security. They were lulled into it because they saw a similar pattern from the previous map. But then it's OG who switched things up just when they have conditioned Reckoning enough.
Good stuff. And now it seems like it's going to be a complete A stack once again. from OG. All the 5 players are just stacked outside A, and Raphael is just straight up gonna dash in. This man's got no fear, and he will be passing up forward. Voya inside the smoke will peek out, doesn't get rewarded with any kills. So that's quite unfortunate stuff. Flavin does have the Blade Storm popped up. Let's see how much of a value this man's able to gather with this ult. He's got one player pushing him up quite close. Easies will be shut down, but he's got a little bit too much to deal with on the plate soon enough. He's only got 85 HP to back him up, so 2 bullets of Vandal should seal the deal. And that's what exactly happens. OG, as soon as the floodgates are open, they will flood through.
Yeah, OG once again keeping it nice and clean. In fact, this time they didn't even stop after they got the plant down. They went in even more aggressively to hunt down Reckoning Esports avenues where they can stage the retake. And Reckoning also is now starting to feel a little desperate. You saw how Voya tried to push out of the smoke, hoping to catch somebody off guard, hoping that he can at least offer his team a 4v4 fight. Even that did not work out.
Yeah. And once again, similar stuff being shown. All the 5 players, Paranoia used. That means Flavin will be pushed off of that angle. He's getting pushed up quite aggressively. Raphael gains the control, but this time Flavin's going to win that duel. Quite a crucial one too. Still the side control's not taken away. Antidote a little worried about that factor. He knows the side control's important if they do want to win out this round. And OGs, they're getting stalled pretty hard. Seeker's out. Seeker should definitely reveal a lot of places. Reckoning Esports, they're going to let the Heaven control go away. Tesseract, he will be caught with the tripwire. Just breaks it and falls back instantly. This might just give this sort of a false presence away from Vents to be Heaven. But no's going to be the answer. RVK challenges a duel on the site. Doesn't come out on top. OG, as long as this entire strategy is lasting, as long as the time they're giving away to the opponents, it's just going to work out on the side of Reckoning Esports. They're giving a little bit too much time away. And look at that tripwire crossing all the way to the site. Nice shots from Flavin. He's good for 3. And OG, now they're getting to start pick apart.
30 seconds left.
Definitely not a good news. 2-on-4 scenario, and RVK peeks out. Puts Hirsch to sleep. OG, they're trying their best to sort of adapt to what Reckoning Esports have brought the terms onto, but they haven't really got a lot of time to adapt, and that's a huge problem. Voya's just waiting for them to cross on over on the rafters, and as soon as they do, he will shut down the first map. Spike dropped, and Voya will get the second one as well. He's also got the resurrection up, so Reckoning Esports now, they should have an upper hand in the upcoming round. Definitely a round they were searching for quite desperately, and Reckoning Esports, they get it. For OG, unfortunately, they just wasted a lot of time on this A main. If they wouldn't have done that, Reckoning Esports wouldn't have got the chance to adapt and to adjust. And once Reckoning Esports got that chance, they started to capitalize and take the round away. OG, if they do want to keep on getting away, running away with these rounds, they need to get, or they need to keep the pedal to the metal and get even more aggressive. But this time, we are seeing an early presence towards B main. Things are quite peaceful for now. No one really giving away their position. Raphael spotted out in the close quarters, but he will shut down Hirsch.
Okay, so they've got B side under the control, but the spike still hasn't made its way through. At least there's gonna be no contention from Reckoning from B heaven, so that's right, there's no problem crossing over. And if something goes wrong, they've even got a lurk in the form of RVK. He hasn't found his timing yet, so he's just going to go back down from T-spawn and hope to regroup along with his team. RVK's responsibility will be to make sure that nobody from Reckoning is coming in. The retake is already on. Raphael Antidote killing up everybody. Master's left to his own device, and then there's just way too many angles to clear. This barrier orb makes it so difficult to even walk through. It just creates a multitude of extra angles that Reckoning now have to clear that did not exist before. And RVK did not even get to do much. He was just there as an insurance policy in case some backstab came in, but there was no opportunity. Poor Harsh. You see how panicked he was in that situation. Pulls out the paranoia. He was supposed to send it down towards B main vertically, but as soon as he heard Raphael dash in, he was like, nope, I have to change up my approach. And even that did not buy him any time. Was shot down dirtily. Reckoning now once again on an eco. It just seems like Reckoning find themselves in these situations a bit too often, but there is a little change in their setup. No trap fires this time, probably because Deadly doesn't want to buy them, can't afford them, so he's just going to place his camera on mid and play on the back of it.
Yeah. Trailblazer's gonna spot out Deadly 10 while he's trying to exit that. As I said, Resurrection's available, and look at the amount of aggression Reckoning Esports are showing up. OG, they have got a decent amount of lead solidified for now, but still not a lead they should rely on. It's not a lead with cushion, it's just a small lead. Reckoning Esports, now they're gonna have the players approaching them. This time, Raw Fuel, he dashes right on top of Master. This stun will be a bit problematic, but OG, they still somehow cross through, and they will put Master on his grave. Deadly 10 on top of the heavens. He was able to find one, but that's all he's gonna get. It's a 4-on-4 scenario. Deadly 10 soften up a bit. ASAT's in the hands of OG,
Spike planted.
and now it's all gonna boil down to this post plant. Woya does have the flank available, but it's not going to matter because every single player is on the site.
Not ready yet.
I mean, even though the tripwire has been broken, OG don't really care. They can continue holding on. Their crossfires are not the strongest. The only person who is in an off angle of sorts is Antidote. Everyone else just refocusing on elbow. The battle, what can it even possibly do? It doesn't affect them at all.
remaining.
Antidote, RBK acting like the bodyguards of their blind teammates. Yeah, super simple.
Yeah. The duels they're taking is just... They are sometimes peeking out Raw, but he feels calculated, and that's what matters. They're always up with the trades. The trade game's looking so fabulous, and now this is a tactical timeout from Reckoning Esports, something they definitely need. 2-6 is the score, and Reckoning Esports, they realize this is the last map for the series. They need to fight for their survival. If they aren't going to fight, then they will be pushed down to the lower brackets where they will have a nightmare on top of their head of getting eliminated.
Yeah, and you never want that pressure hanging over your head. And OG have looked so dynamic. Like, it's not like they're doing something out of the ordinary. Sometimes it even feels like their approach on paper is flawed, but it works out so well in practice because you saw those early rounds where Reckoning was trying to play aggressively, right, towards mid. They got a lot of map control on paper, and OG were just stacked up outside of A main. Still managed to edge them out. And then there are instances where OG just go for the vanilla B hits. It still works out in their favor. Every now and then they throw in one late lurk in form of raw fuel towards mid, and that creates wonders. So Reckoning just keep getting toyed with. And Reckoning also have changed up their approach, right? They've tried playing for defaults. They've tried pushing up. None of them seem to work.
If you think about it, Crips, what they're doing isn't even something out of the completely box, right?
Yeah.
It's just some basic stuff. Put one man on the lurk. The rest will just straight up run through on the site.
Yeah.
Nothing much out of the box, nothing out of the outer ordinaries. And still, Reckoning Esports aren't able to realize that. I mean, maybe they do, but they're just losing out these duels. They're just losing out the duels like that. What are you supposed to do when OG are feeling themselves? But Rolling Thunder will definitely push him back a little bit more. And it works out in the favor of Reckoning Esports now. From the shadows available and will be used to teleport on the A site. The rotation gets cut off, and now Antidote, a single man on the mission. 1-on-4 scenario. Sounds next to impossible to clutch it out, but this man has got big brains. Definitely has the ability to maneuver as well around, but he gets stunned down, cannot do anything. He's handicapped.
This is finally a round where Reckoning Esports find success. But you still gotta recognize that OG are trying to do some insane stuff. Look at what they do. They just basically walk out. The first frag that Desrag gets, it's dry peeking.
Yeah.
Yes, Flabin's able to change things around, and as soon as Flabin gets that double, he buys a little more space for Master to unleash the Rolling Thunder. That's when OG realized this area is gone. You might as well try to teleport back to A and plant the spike, which Antidote does. But RVK has to walk all the way back there, and he's shut down as well. So yeah, the unorthodox approach from OG does surprise Reckoning every now and then, but at least now they were prepared. I wonder how many more surprises does OG have under their sleeve.
And exactly we said, right? No VODs available off just doing some research on the enemy team on this map. And that's something that's really catching them off guard. Once again, quite an interesting approach from them. They've got a man lurking around in main. They've got a couple of players pushing up through the vents. They probably do want to take the Haven control. Tesseract still in mid. Quite an interesting way to approach the site, right? Yeah. And I think so even they themselves are quite just indecisive of what they exactly do want to do, but they finally now start to make their presence known towards Haven. The Trailblazer was used to get any sort of information. Deadly Tents tucked on the side with the Cypher. And as soon as he hears any sort of footsteps approaching him, he should probably try to take him down. The gun barrel was spotted, but Voya isn't able to capitalize, and the operator strikes in. OG once again a clean take on the site. Not able to stop anyone. And what's going on? Reckoning Esports. These duels they're losing is really just costing them the rounds.
I mean, Reckoning even had the information in this round. They saw the camera being destroyed on mid. Reckoning know that OG have taken mid control.
Here.
And on top of it, you had Flabin who was... Never mind, this is just so unfortunate to watch. I was gonna talk about Flabin. He had pushed up all the way out of B main. He saw nobody from OG present over there. So, put two and two together, it's kind of obvious that OG is going to hit A, and yet Reckoning didn't make the rotations. They held their ground. Poor Deadly and Voya, they were trapped on an island. They both were just holding elbow, and that was it. That was the only control they had.
I don't even think so Tesseract has lost a single duel yet.
I mean, the
this
way
man
he's been dry
nasty.
peeking, yeah, and it's not even like he's being set up for the kills, right? He's mostly just dry peeking
He's
out.
Sage.
I know exactly where you are.
This man is able to perform that way on a Sage role. I mean, that's a prime definition of a battle Sage, right?
Yeah.
Just don't care. Look at these shots. I mean, his position was known. Hirsch knew that he's there, and he still somehow wins that duel.
Insane, dude. And now OG are the ones who are going for a tactical timeout. They realize they've stretched their boundaries too thin. This was not a round. On paper, they're supposed to win. That's exactly the point I'm trying to make, right? You pause these rounds, you take a look at the mini-map, and you will realize Reckoning have way more map control than OG ever does. And they even know exactly where OG are, yet they're not able to do anything about it. They realized, like, probably a year ago that OG have taken vents already. They knew the A side is inbound. Do they make the rotations? No. Reckoning just leave Deadly and Voya on an island. They're stuck over there. The only place where they can survive is elbow, and at that time, they're just ducks waiting to be shot. Like fish in a barrel.
Let's see what they can do inside this round, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
at least they've got so many ultimates to work with.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of how they're just letting go the mid control. And I think so on the map is split. Mid control is one of the most important things you need. Without a doubt.
It is. And Reckoning did try to take it in a couple of rounds, but it backfired for them so hard that they've just given up on it.
That's what they say in the motivational quotes, though. Never give up.
But
look, once again, here we go. They're trying to establish that mid control, but you do see that breach ready with the tremor. As soon as anyone will be spotted towards mid, the tremor will be utilized. It will be activated. Flabinator in the close quarters. He will peek out, but the man's on the left, and Rawfuel gets away with two. How is this able to happen? OG all the time. This team is able to punish whatever Reckoning Esports are trying to bring on the table. And somehow they're being left unchecked. And RVK with the flank will not be able to get one, but still he's managed to shut down the man to only 5 HP. He's scratched up, and Deadly 10, he's got the war wounds on him. And he's quite hurt.
Oh.
Healing.
At least now he can get healed. But imagine if Voya got shot down over there before he could regroup with Deadly. Still a 4v3, still a lot of advantages for OG, and Rawfuel just killing straight. Is this his ace? Nah, never mind. Tesseract steals it, but still, an 8-3 lead is
Last round before the switch.
OG, they're making it look so easy against a team that has defeated some of the best teams out there in the past. And one of the prime examples is God's Reign. That just happened yesterday. And now they're just getting absolutely rolled by Reckoning. Or now they're just absolutely getting rolled by OG. Reckoning Esports, this is a huge lesson to learn for them. this matchup, they definitely will learn a lot of stuff.
This goes here. Oh, this is a nice. That goes there.
It's not like Reckoning
Get
are
out of
doing
my way.
something wrong or something that
Yeah.
is technically bad. They're just, I hate to say it, but some of these instances, they're just getting unlucky.
I mean, you will get unlucky once or twice, but you can't keep on getting unlucky
Every time?
a lot
Exactly,
of the
right?
rounds. You just
Oh
gotta
my God.
expect
They just
accept the
walk past
fact
each
that
other.
sometimes. Yeah, look.
Dude. Yeah, see, this is the kind of stuff.
What is
How
this?
often do you see this? Flabin walks past RBK, they just, like ships in the night, sailing past each other.
Spike planted.
Oh my God, what is happening? And his position is
found my
completely
wire.
uncompromised. Look at RVK, he knows there's someone on the flank, and now Rothfield's got his eyes stacked up on that angle. Flabin will peek out, and he will get greeted by the knife to his skull. And Boya's got no clue, because the angle is clear. That's what he thinks. And he gets surprised with a bullet to his dome, and our Rothfield will clean things up on the last man. Another 3K. Rothfield is performing out of his mind today in this series.
I don't even know what to say anymore, dude. That is such a comical thing. How do they walk past each other without realizing it? And then, even worse luck. Flabin runs into a tripfire, which gives away his flank, but RBK goes unchecked. Poor Voya is walking in there, assuming that heaven is clear, assuming that his teammate has just cleared this area, so it should be safe. Oh, surprise, surprise. RBK is just waiting for him on the other side.
I mean, we were just talking about unlucky and lucky. You cannot be unlucky these many rounds, and then that just happens in front of us. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, there's still second half left to this entire matchup. We'll be right back.
Here for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Here for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back into the second half, ladies and gentlemen. 9-3 is the scoreline. There are going to be a lot of superstitious people who will say that it will be a curse. But Crips, let's find out.
Let's find out. I mean, Reckoning have been facing the bad luck charm for like, what, 7-8 rounds in a row. You can get unlucky once or twice, but this is just way too much. So they do need a little bit of, I don't know, curse or blessing, whatever you call it. Need it. Antidote challenging Harsh. Walks away with a little bit of a dink, but that's okay because Tesseract can heal him up. And that's early contact made towards B. Look at what this does to OG. It draws OG's rotations towards the B side quite a lot, but Reckoning are actually hitting A. And that's not a problem at all because this is just so sharp from Rothfield.
Bro,
Spike down.
this is
A.
what I am talking about. They're able to win these duels, and some angles are being left unchecked. You should have expected someone behind the screens on the sites, but, well, it is what it is. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that can be said, but the moment's already gone, so yeah, it's better we just focus on and move on from that. Voya wins that duel, but OG will clean it up. 10 rounds on the board. 9-3 was the scoreline. This pistol round was the sort of like the lifeline for Reckoning Esports. But they lose out that pistol round 2, and now OG, they're starting to get really comfortable. And AZ's just yawned.
I don't really blame him, you know. Aziz isn't seeing a lot of action. Especially when Antidote or Rothfield are the ones who are cleaning up shop, when RBK is the one who's defending everything. I think Aziz doesn't even need to do all that much. He's sitting on the bottom of the scoreboard.
Bro.
Yeah, he's sitting at the bottom of the scoreboard, not because he's playing bad, but because he just doesn't get to see the action. His teammates are just hogging all the limelight, going around killing everyone, and then Aziz is sitting back there chilling. He can probably take his hands off the keyboard and mouse and just lean back in his chair. His teammates are going to clear everything up.
man. Reckoning Esports. All right. 3 to 10. There's still a possibility. We are the believers. May the believers rise. Fill up your copium tanks, because it's now time to make some cope happen.
Yeah.
Comeback is possible. 10-3. Watch a clean sweep on the other side now.
Is it though? Reckoning have stingers. As long as they can clear up some space and get up in the faces of OG, they can make it work. If not, then these Bulldogs are gonna just shred them. Oh, a lot of mid presence. At least the flashes were thrown out from Reckoning, but no follow-up on the back of it, so they've already lost a very expensive piece of utility from Master. The rest of them gearing up for this A main burst out. Antidote's alone over here, so if you can get this guy, then you've got the B-side for yourself. But Antidote just playing for survival. He's not even trying to fight, he's just hoping that they walk in. And he gets a kill, that's all he needed.
Spike planted.
Yeah, but his position was known, but he's still able to sneak away with a kill. That's not a good news for the NOG. I mean, still, it's somehow working out in their favor. It is a force buy round for Reckoning Esports. As they start to close their distance, Tesseract's moving up even more closer. He knows there's someone in the back lines, but he's just not sure yet. The flash was there to back him up, but that flash is not going to be enough. And AZ's, he peeks out. On the other hand, Flavin gets a 3K for himself. He tried to get the fourth one as well, but he will be denied. Dash is primed for raw fuel. He gets stunned out. He's just trying to stall as long as possible. And as soon as Master peeks out, raw fuel will shut him down. Another round tallied up for OG. Make it 11. And now they're starting to run away with the lead. It's a one-sided map.
And now there's no money left for Reckoning. No rounds left either. Reckoning are never the kind of team that force buys in the second round, but now that their backs are against the wall, they were forced to put up these weapons. And they're still forcing it. I mean, it's not like they have a choice. Guardians, Vandals, Spectres, Stingers, everything. Literally every single type of weapon that's available, they have it in their bags.
Lot of good news. I don't even know what to say at this point. I mean, the Reckoning Esports are just getting countered hard.
Yeah.
They're putting every single credit available on their bank account to buy these guns. Flavin's got a Vandal in the hand. So let's see how much of an impact he's really going to be able to make. Rafael already opens things up on a great note. Tesseract position and compromise is already down to 21 HP. Nothing much can be done, but Flavin, he wins that crucial duel, something that they really needed to win, and now we're down to 4 on 3.
Spike though, Spike is still towards the bottom of mid, and if Rawfield's able to kill the Spike carrier, this will be game over. Oh, he missed. A chance available now.
Oh, he whiffed. Alright. The Spike simply crosses.
Last player
Maybe not.
standing.
Okay, Reckoning Esports able to capitalize. RVK shut down. This time, Sheriff shots not really connecting on the dome. Spectre retrieved in the hands of Rawfield, and look at Flavinator. But what? Through the wall?
Oh, but I had my heart in my mouth at that moment over there.
Just bite it.
Like, yeah. Bite it. Oh, you really do want to kill me, don't you? But yeah, dude, like Reckoning Esports, first of all, clearing out that B Heaven area, especially when that barrier orb is put up in that particular angle, it's so annoying. It becomes nearly impossible to break the crossfire, but Flavin's still able to do it. Hoya also stepping up. And after Reckoning go through the difficult process of clearing up B Heaven, it would have been heartbreaking for them if Rawfield killed Harsh and dropped the Spike over there. That would just be bad mojo. Makes it through luckily, and Reckoning get a lifeline. But OG have the Sheriffs, and they are still quite deadly. The only person who has a decent gun in this round is Deadly, and that's the Vandals. Everyone else, just down to Guardians and Bulldogs and whatever else that money can buy. You can't buy Copium, though.
I mean, OG's on an eco. This round is quite grabbable, unless they're able to hit some incredible shots. Or some human shots.
Here.
They do. RVK, AZ's too. I mean, so far, he's a beast who's sleeping. But when he is awakened, that will be a problem that Reckoning Esports will need to find a cure to. So far, they've already been dealing with so many issues, so many problems within themselves where they're not really able to get a quick grasp onto that. The wall should deny that crossfire and should break it. Voya was able to open things up on a great note, make it up with the second one as well. And now Reckoning Esports, they're starting to run away with the map control and also the site control.
Hostile remove.
Ooh.
Nice.
30 seconds left. Spike
Anymore? I
planted.
mean, even if he gets a couple of kills, it's fine. Reckoning will be able to buy proper weaponry in the next round anyway, so even if RVK does some economic damage, Reckoning can recover from that.
Hirsch. Quick tap onto RVK. Last flame is extinguished as well. And Reckoning Esports, they have managed to save up quite a decent amount of guns. Still, OG, they have a really solid lead, solidified, so they don't really need to worry about anything just yet. Reckoning Esports, yeah, they have managed to win like the past 2 rounds back-to-back, but that's not going to be the point of concern at all. Because OG knows all they need is 2 more rounds to back it up, and that's going to be it. And that's why they've also called out a tactical timeout.
At some point, these teams are going to start running out of tactical timeouts, but they will need plenty of more of these opportunities. And now that OG have a buy round, they will probably try to shut down Reckoning here and now. They can't let them get away with too much. Quick recap of what's happened so far. Reckoning Esports have hit the A side and the B side both quite proficiently. We've seen that they are able to break open the OG crossfires, even though the crossfires look really solid. So at least that brute force approach from Reckoning works every now and then. But eventually when OG tried to build up a counter, what's going to happen? So far OG have not really aggressed hyperactively out of mid. The only sort of aggression that they have shown us is towards B main. That too when Raw Fuel or Antidote, one of them just pushes up. But what's going to happen when they actively start to take mid control? What's going to happen when they actively start to flank Reckoning? There was a successful flank by Raw Fuel like a couple of rounds ago, but now he's got the op. And this man is a force to be reckoned with when he's got the operator.
Understandable. He's been proving that. And look at now the pedal to the metal. Aggressive stuff being shown. No smoke to back it up. Interesting. Didn't even look at the back lines anymore. They did have the resurrection available, so I guess, yeah, they were sort of just completely hopeful on that resurrection. Good flash to try and nullify those angle holders. And Antidote's not going to find anything. The operator's still in the front, but Reckoning Esports, the floodgates are now open, and they're starting to run away with a lot of kills. You blink it and you miss it. Reckoning Esports, they secure yet another round.
A pinstripe of the kill feed just flurs everything up, man. Raw Fuel with a lovely shot towards B main, but the moment he dashed back, he was waiting to be shot down by so many players. The instant resurrection from Reckoning kind of shows us that they had everything down to the wire. They had it planned, but then they just flood out of E heaven, dropping down to its hell like it's a waterfall. Except it's just blood rushing out of it. Reckoning Esports brute forcing the way to its B heaven quite successfully. Let's see if they can continue doing so. They've changed up their approach. They're hitting the east side now. RBK playing ahead of the cyber cages. Will be shot down. But there's a 3 stack on A. And Reckoning anticipate this trap.
What?
Are you serious?
He lost! How is that even possible? Oh, I mean, OG, there was a certain time when they were hitting some nutty shots, and now that's the moment that happens. He lost a duel against a teleporting Omen. Not something you're accustomed to. Yeah, not something you're accustomed to seeing, huh? And now Reckoning Esports, man, they've really started to amp up the heat. I think so. This is where, when you say, when someone's quite wounded up, they're even more deadly.
All pun intended over there. Yeah, this was just...
One enemy remaining.
I don't know, it's not even funny. It's just sad, maybe, to look at.
And
but,
the Observer
hey,
shows it again.
Just to rub some salt into the wounds again. Anyway, yeah. I'm glad that Reckoning Esports have woken up. They seem like the... It looks like the beast has come out of hibernation. And it's about time they did that. They've now got OG trapped in this little vicious cycle of buy rounds, equal rounds. And they'll be trapped in that cycle unless they do something to get to map point. Even if Reckoning lose a round, the silver lining is that Reckoning have plenty of money, so they can contest OG if they reach map point.
But they wouldn't want to do that. They wouldn't want to risk a round at all.
Of course.
Hirsch does have From the Shadow available. Reckoning Esports. There's an operator waiting to greet them. As soon as even a single glimmer spotted, it's gonna strike down at least a single man in the front. Hirsch, there is a tripwire just waiting for him. That's a good cyber cage. But still, Rafael manages to connect the shot. And Aziz will follow it up. We were talking about a sleeping beast, and now Aziz is waking up as well. Boya and his teammate are the last two players alive in OG. Now they're starting to capitalize and close the fists together as Hirsch is the last glimmer of hope, and the burning torch in the night, which is looking to be extinguished soon enough by OG as this flank comes true. And RVK is going to let him follow up.
We mentioned that Aziz didn't really have to do all that much up until now because his teammates were just lifting the weights. And Aziz didn't even have the opportunity to see a lot of enemies. But now that OG are looking to end this game soon, Aziz takes up the mantle of responsibility upon himself and he rushes it down. Playing so aggressively, just circling around A heaven, not giving Reckoning any chance to even enter. The plan to use the cyber cages as cover and creep inside was great from Deadly 10, but man, when Rafael's got that up, nothing can save you.
Boy up.
Blinded.
My camera is destroyed.
Ooh, OG, they've got the map point secured, ladies and gentlemen, and also the series point. Reckoning Esports, their hearts are probably now starting to beat even faster.
And Reckoning
And
are
OG.
kinda all over the map. The solo approach from Deadly 10's already discovered. They know that there's someone over there because the guiding light said blinded.
Yeah, my ult's
And
ready.
Rafael shut this one down.
Here.
Next, contact towards B heaven, accounted for by OG. Camera on B lane should be able to spot out Hodge coming inside. RVK's got a very cheeky angle and he falls back. Tesseract's ready to pick up the pace.
Master's down only 5 HP. This man's softened up way too low. It's a 3-on-5 scenario. Sounds next to impossible to close it off. And Tesseract still in the back available. RVK will clean both of them up. And OG, they come out on top on the map that they picked and they looked really confident on. Split, they absolutely dismantle Reckoning Esports to seal the series in their hand and sending Reckoning Esports in the loser brackets.
There was a silver lining through the dark clouds when Reckoning Esports got those 2 rounds in the bag. But they were quickly overshadowed by Orangutan and their massive firepower that was active on Split. Aziz decides to fire up and get his team the map points. The rest of them just hold their ground and Reckoning run into it head first. It's like running into a brick wall. There's no way through it.
They just looked impenetrable on Split. A force to be reckoned with. Whatever you guys want to call OG. And look at Reckoning Esports. They're just left heartbroken. Mental's broken down, everything. Reckoning Esports, they certainly did not expect this outcome, considering they have faced the same opponent once in the past. And this time, they fall down once again against the same opponent. It's going to be a tough pill to swallow for Reckoning Esports. But I'm pretty sure the next time we see this team in the losers bracket, they're going to prepare even more. OG, just a step ahead.
Not a step ahead, multiple steps ahead this time. They made Reckoning look like they were a fish out of water. So uncomfortable. They tried to desperately claw their way back. And there were some scratches left on OG's back because of that clawing back. But in the end, OG was just too strong over here.
Well, you know what, Crips? It is definitely quite an unfortunate stuff for Reckoning Esports considering the amount of hard work they have been putting, but you also gotta give the props to OG because they absolutely dismantled their opponents on all the sides. With that being said, it's time for us to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we